How's it going, guys? My name is TIMBUH, and today we're going to be covering returns and how they are helpful in EDM and bass music. So let's just jump right into it. So whenever you're making music, you're usually in this form, but whenever you go to this form, you're going to be able to see your returns. And as you can see, the primary template of ABLETON does supply you with one already. That being said, you can just go ahead and leave those be. I'm going to show you two ways of making it very useful in EDM and bass music of your return tracks. And so, first of all, what are return tracks? So this is my understanding of what return tracks are. Return tracks are going to create duplicates of the signal without causing phase issues. And so what do I mean by that? So say, for example, this 3 audio, right? We'll go ahead and name this bass, and we'll name this drums. I'll just theoretically think we have those there. Well, you can see this INF, that means infinity. So you should actually categorize this in letter order. So A, B, C, D. So those first A, B, right, those are going to be those two. And then the ones that we created are going to be C and D right there. So this is going to how you turn it up. So let's go ahead and do a little example. Now, reverb, as I mentioned in one of my previous episodes, can really ruin your mix if you kind of keep throwing them everywhere. So here's a great way of being able to have reverb and controlling it in the mix too. So that being said, what we're going to want to do, usually we want to throw a different reverb than just the primary Ableton reverb, but it also works. So what I'd like to do is, first of all, if you're going to be doing clip to zero method, it doesn't really work like that with returns, honestly. And in my opinion, you're going to override things really fast. So I'm going to go ahead and automatically always turn down my returns just because I want them to be support classes. You know, these are going to be more support than their own foundational elements, if anything. So for example, let's go ahead to tame that reverb, right? Now you're going to have it at a parameter that's not 50, but maybe like 25, because what I like to do personally, so we have that parameter, right? It's C. I like to turn it up all the way. Now, why I say turn it down over here and, you know, generally EQ out, of course, and do your usual processing too, but why I say -12 is that we're going to be pushing it pretty hard, and I'm telling you, you're going to see a noticeable difference of the loudness in it. So in that case, and then make sure you're sidechaining this too. This is going to need its own sidechain. So you're going to notice, I want you to try this on your tracks or whatever you're working on right now, and put a really luscious reverb on this C channel, and you'll see how much this helps. So basically what it's going to do is, that's going to say, hey, I'm going to create a reverb signal of that, but only of that, right? For example, so it's not going to create phasing issues and anything, and you can keep this not reverbed, right? So it's kind of cool. You can keep its own processing in its own sector. So let's go ahead and go over to a second obstacle that's pretty easy to do. So we'll go ahead and pull up drum full parallel, which I really like. It's very good. It is a glue compressor. So we'll throw that on D, return, right? So I'll keep that usually at that, but I'll definitely turn this down. And what I'll do is I'll crank that on my drums. And what this is going to do, once again, is create a duplicate of that audio of whatever you're sending it to. And in my experience, I think that duplicating your drums this way, especially during like the final stages of the mix, actually can really compress and bring out a really good amount of loudness. And this is actually a process called parallel processing with a full parallel glue compressor. So that's two great ways of how you can utilize returns. I see too often that people don't use returns in their songs. So I just wanted to be able to show you guys that so you can start applying it in your songs. So I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks again.